All right. So while we wait, how about you introduce yourself as AK Cooper? How do we like? What's your first name? What do we refer to you as?
You call me AK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are you? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you like? Have you written a single book? Are you writing a book, or do you have like multiple books published?
I have multiple books
Okay.
published. Yeah.
Right.
I write the Templeton Miller Dynasty, and also I write the Lily Everly book series for children. So at the
Interesting.
moment, I am publishing two more Lily Everly books at the moment.
Right. Okay, that's really interesting. I'll tell you a little bit about our platform. We are
Mm.
Online Ebook Fair. I believe you're already part of our platform.
Yes.
So we're currently building, let's say, the world's largest online book fair. So
Mhm.
we're still, like getting more authors, more books. Um, I'm actually a literary consultant myself. I've helped multiple authors, around the world, not just
Yeah.
in the U.S. but like internationally, in terms of doing their marketing, Amazon optimization, a couple of things like that. So yeah, and this is we're actually beginning this, sort of like a podcast show where we can have discussions with authors, and we people can learn from there. This is also we have a very big following on even on our YouTube and on online on our website. So
Mhm.
there are over 300,000 people that actually visit Online Ebook Fair. We have a newsletter for our clients, for the readers. So this is a good place for you to be able to market your book and talk
Yeah.
about book. So, what actually made you like into an author? Have you always wanted to be an author, or like how did you come about becoming an author?
I've written for years, and I
Okay.
was an executive, and some of my board meetings were so boring. I created a lot of my stories from them. I actually, worked up to about 4 years ago. I said a very fast career, and
Right.
I suffer with multiple sclerosis. So I had to
Oh,
my career. Yeah, my career ended.
um,
So it's giving me time now, as an hobby to continue writing. So the stories I've done over the years, I'm now publishing.
right. Do you publish them yourself, or do you have like a publisher that you work with?
I have a publisher I work with.
Okay.
I work with MTP, Michael Terence Publishing.
All right. Okay. Is like local based for you, or is it in like in the U.S.? Where is it based?
They are based in Poland.
Oh, in
I'm
Poland.
in
Okay.
I'm in England.
Oh, you're in
They
England.
do have a head office in London, so we're
Okay.
pretty scattered, really.
Right. Okay, that's really interesting. We help a lot of authors in not just publishing work, but like publishing. We actually I'm sure you're familiar with Amazon, and I'm sure your
Yeah.
books are already there. But
Yes, it is.
Amazon is home to 124 million users internationally. And then I'm sure you also know Barnes and Noble because it's fairly more famous in the UK than it is in the US, but internationally they've got 60 million plus users as well. So we actually help our clients publish their books on all these platforms like Goodreads, Apple Books, Google Books.
Yes.
And then we're actually a platform where people visit. So we've got like multiple different people visiting, who basically want to like either read more books, find out about
Yeah.
books, or even buy books. We're currently working on like other things. So we're also working on having like audiobooks available on our
Yeah.
platform. That's something that should happen by the end of the next quarter. But yeah.
Yeah, that's good because I've got my Lily Everly is in audiobook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the next two which are going to be published will end up on audiobook as well.
Right.
But the Templeton Millers, the adult books, they're not on audio yet.
Okay.
But I could see a future opening for that. Yes.
100%. If you do ever need help with audiobooks, that is also something that we can help you out with. A
Yes.
bunch of our clients have actually gotten their books converted into audiobooks, and it's especially after COVID, a lot of people got into listening to audiobooks because it
Yes.
was just out there, and they could do it while cycling, while walking. So
Yes.
yeah, there's a high demand in audiobooks recently.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So my children's books, they are, they are going on to the, well, some of them are on audio.
Okay.
Um, that I'm seeing how the sales go on that before I actually
Right.
go into the adult section of
Right.
my writing. Yeah.
Right, that's very true. That's actually, it's a safe approach, and
Yes.
that way you'd be able to know, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
well, we're
Definitely.
glad to have you on board, and I'm glad that you're part of the show. I feel like people are actually late. Even last time when we hosted this, we didn't get that many people, but people kind of came in a little late. But like,
Yeah.
you were there on time, and I'm glad that we could have this conversation separately.
Yes. 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 So am I. Yes.
Right. I just hold on while I'm just gonna check up on a couple of things. Hi, John. Welcome to the Author Show. Are you able to hear us?
Yes, I can hear
Hi,
you.
John. Welcome to the Author Show. Are you able to hear us properly?
Am I what?
Are you able to hear us?
I didn't
Can,
understand that. Am I holding what?
no? Are you able to hear us?
Yes, I am able to hear you. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
that's yes, absolutely. So, welcome to the Author Show. We already have an author here, AK. She is based in England. And John, I believe you're based in the U.S.
Yes, in
Great.
San Antonio.
Oh, wonderful. We would love for you to introduce yourself as an author, and then maybe we can start having a discussion.
Yes, I'm the author of the book "The Bible's Hidden Treasure," James the Precious Pearl. It's a religious book that talks about how the Epistle of James basically is consistent with the Old Testament and the Gospels, and it's basically what you want to follow if you want to have the Lord's kingdom come to earth, and if you want to go to heaven. By the way,
Mm.
Interesting. That's actually quite interesting. That's something we all must read. AK, why don't you tell us about your books a little bit again, so we have an idea.
Okay. Well, I'm the author of the Templeton Miller Dynasty, which is a family who are billionaires, and it ranges from 1938 right to the present day. It is a dynasty what involves the film world in Hollywood, and there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of romance, there's excitement. It's an actual romantic thriller. I also write children's books from the age of 7 plus, and they are Lily Everly, and she's a 13-year-old detective, and she solves cases for her father, Professor Everly. And it's based in a little village in England called Duxdale.
Interesting. That's quite interesting. We've got like I think a variety of different authors on our platform. We actually let me introduce Online Ebook Fair again. We're actually on our way to becoming the world's largest online book fair. We've got multiple books. We've recently added a couple of books from different authors internationally. We're also creating a search engine within our website that will be able to help you search from multiple books online and be able to get you the accurate link for it. We've got over 300,000 followers on our social media pages and our website that visit our website. We do a lot of search engine optimization. So internationally, we get a lot of audience. Our yearly subscription fee is also not the most expensive. I feel like, it's very affordable for the whole year. If you look at it, monthly, it's like less than 80 cents. And, that's by far cheaper than even a cup of coffee. We actually work on, a bulk model. So we have, I think, many readers online. And then the other thing is that, we actually we still do marketing for a lot of our clients, but we actually understood that marketing a book is not the easiest anymore. Especially because, like a lot of people think that marketing a book on Facebook or, Instagram is going to be a good idea, but like 90% of the people aren't there to usually buy a book. They're there to, maybe connect with their friends, watch some content and things like that. So, if they just go through your book and they like it, so, they might, want to read it, but it's a less possibility because their intent is not there. So what we actually do is that we work on different, a variety of things to get your book the right coverage. We get our clients to extensively publish their book. So not just publish their book in the US, but also publish it in Canada, in UK, and Australia, or other potential places where people speak English and may follow the same culture or religion. So, Online Ebook Fair sort of is the platform that brings everyone together. So there's authors, there's publishers, there are people. We also have a lot of readers who come onto the website, refer to books, and then also purchase books off of our website. So we're currently building this, and we wanted to have a discussion with our authors and get feedback, and also find out more about your books, because the more we know about your books, it's going to be easier for us to market. And we also creating a YouTube channel that is going to have a wonderful following of the people who already read books. So they're going to know about authors and new books and upcoming things every month.
Yeah.
So John, would you like to share something about your author journey? Like what made you an author? How did you become, or have you always been an author?
No, actually, I was a radiation safety officer and a scientist
Interesting.
for about 40 years. Before that, a nuclear engineer with working for Westinghouse at naval reactors in Idaho. And
Wow.
before I retired, I started reading the Bible, trying to
Right.
help my kids who were in a religious school. And the more I read the Bible, the more contradictions I found in it. So I did some more research and found several authors that have found contradictions in the Bible. And basically, they became atheists because they said, oh, a perfect God should have a perfect Bible. Well, so I couldn't write a book about the contradictions in the Bible. It's already been done. So I changed course and started looking for the consistency in the Bible. And yeah, that led me to my book, The Bible's Hidden Treasure, James the Precious Pearl. And that basically, James, it's an epistle near the end of the Bible. It is consistent with the Old Testament that basically you have to take personal responsibility for your sins and your good behavior, and not rely on a human sacrifice for the forgiveness of your sins, which is kind of what most Christians follow. And also 20% of James is dedicated to making the point that you're not saved by faith alone, which Martin Luther professed. Oh, if you only believe in God, you're going to go to heaven. You get a free ticket into heaven because you believe. Well, 20% of James says, no, you've got to have faith and your deeds and stop sinning and repent, which is consistent with the Old Testament, but is somewhat inconsistent, refutes what a lot is said in the Gospels of John and certainly the epistles of Paul. And so finding what is consistent throughout thousands of years led me to write my book.
Wow. That's quite interesting, and I think this is definitely something that I'd want to read. But it's also very interesting about like your career. I'm actually very curious if you ever thought of writing like an autobiography, because I'm pretty sure that's going to be quite interesting as well.
No, actually, I think it would be rather boring.
Well, a lot of times we have a lot of people who actually, think that, but there could be like there's over 6 billion people on the planet, and there could be a large percentage of it that you don't know may be able to relate with you. So, but yeah, I feel like John, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm so glad to get to know about you. And AK and I were discussing earlier, but I'd love for you to like tell us again how you became an author and like what led you here.
Yes, well, it began when I was little. I used to write stories all the time when I was little. But then I got a fast career, as we call it in England, where we don't have time for anything. I was in accounts and procurement, and I used to travel to Italy, and I was in engineering. And basically, my workload was absolutely huge. There were times when I were in a board meetings, and nothing was really productive with these board meetings. So I used to write more stories. Then about 4 years ago, I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and my fast active career finished. So rather than sitting moping, thinking my world's finished, everything's ended, I'm hopeless, I was the opposite. I was so positive. I got all my old stories out, in the attic, started looking at them, got myself a publisher. I've started producing these fantastic stories from all these years ago. And like I said, the Templeton Miller Dynasty is a romantic thriller. And it begins in 1938 with Lady Helena Templeton Jones. She's from a very wealthy family, but her father, Viscount Templeton, doesn't recognise her because women in the 1930s were second to the man. He only had eyes for his eldest son because he was a future Viscount. To cut a long story short, 3 American film directors come to London in 1938 to look for a filming location. They go to the Banquet of Tranquility, which is, I would say, if I had to put that hotel nearest to an hotel, it would be the Ritz in London. They meet Helena and her friends. Theo James Miller, who owns Miller Lyons Film Company, falls in love with her. They all elope to America, and they actually get married on the boat as they're traveling. Once they get there, they all go their separate ways. Helena and Theo go to Los Angeles. He takes her to his studio, and basically this irate actress who wasn't getting her own way storms off scene, off the set, off the scene of the film. So Theo actually puts Eleanor into that place for the actress, and that's how her career begins. She becomes one of the world's most famous actresses. She has a dilemma in her life where she's just working all the time. She wants to become a mother. She's struggling, to conceive a family, which actually, gets a little bit depressed. She becomes more focused on a life because they buy a house in Switzerland. She tries to make herself remote from everything. She doesn't want to be an actress at the end of the day, but her career's too far gone. Theo James, though he's a very, very successful film director and owns a film studio, he deals with a secret society where he has a group of people who work for him. And all this happens behind Eleanor's back. She doesn't know what's happening because it's another side to him, what she doesn't know. And basically, there's two lines to this story. There's Helena's life, struggling to be a mother, but successful in acting. Then there's Theo James Miller, successful in his career as a director, but also he runs a secret society. And basically, his enemies are the Brambillas, and the Brambillas try to bring down his empire. And there's lots of twists and turns in this story. And that's how the first book begins. The second book, Themis, runs from the first one called Eternum. And Themis is about his lawyer, W.J. Pullman, and Elizabeth, who's Eleanor's friend from London, who also eloped with W.J. Pullman. Basically, his life is shattered because there is tragedy in this book. And Theo James Miller is helping them all the way through the society, his secret company he has, his society gatherings he holds. The society is a very, very powerful organisation, and it runs through all the Templeton Miller books.
That's really interesting.
Yes.
I feel like the summary that you just gave, I feel like that was quite amazing, and especially obviously the author giving a summary about the book is always very interesting because you've written it. But that definitely sounded something like I could totally visualize it, and like I'm not sure if you're ever gonna convert that into a movie, but that definitely sounds like something that would it would do great. But let me. Yeah, go on, please.
Yes, sorry. I was going to say, yes, it would. It could be a kind of Netflix type of show. Like we have Bridgerton here in England.
Right.
It could run on that same platform. Very similar. Yes.
Well, that's quite interesting, and I'm glad. Well, I'm gonna move on to like my next point of discussion, and I've got two authors with me, and I'd want to know what do you guys feel like. We'll begin. Maybe John can answer first, and then we'll go with AK. But what do you feel like are the challenges of being an author in 2025?
Oh, yeah, the challenge is definitely trying to sell a book, especially a religious book. I wrote the book, got it published, but marketing it and making people aware of it is a very difficult task, something that I don't know how to do. And so trying to sell the book is the hard part.
Right. And AK, what about you? What would you feel like are challenges of being an author in 2025?
Again, very similar to John. I feel there's that many books out there being published per day. I feel like a little pea lost in a field because my book is probably tiny in comparison to the number of books what's coming out per day. I just feel lost at times. And you're right, marketing, particularly on social media, everybody says it's the way forward. It's not. You do get recognized, you do get followers. Yes, you're getting branded, but that's about it. A lot of these people are not readers, and yeah, they love I do trailers for my books, and they absolutely love the trailers. But trying to sell the book, like John said, it's very, very difficult. Very difficult.
Right. I feel like like from on if I talk to you about on us as the other side, like the publishing and marketing people, this is definitely something that we get a lot of questions from our clients, and that's how Online Ebook Fair came up. We actually realized that we need to create a community for books, because I'll be honest, like as we were growing up, I mean, at least as I was growing up, Amazon Kindle was the best place to get books and potential books. But Amazon has, just like you guys said, the example of the P, it's like an ocean, and finding the right things, it's very difficult. And even as a reader, if you go on Amazon, it's I feel like it's very difficult. That's why we thought, because in Amazon doesn't really need the business from their books anymore, because they have so many other things, right? So that's just a automated process that is in place, similar to Facebook, similar to Instagram, that doesn't really have much human interaction. And I felt like books is something, obviously is written by humans, and it needs to have human involvement in it. That's the only way we'll be able to build a community where we can get readers and authors. So I feel like that's our first step towards building a community. And I feel like another problem that has happened is that we have AI, and everything has, I mean, I'm like, this is also a part of discussion that I wanted to discuss earlier. I mean, you guys as an author, I wanted to know your opinion. How do you feel like AI? Do you feel like AI has helped us, or do you feel like it's just made things difficult for us?
Um, I think it's making people lazy.
True.
People are not using their brains, and it's making a lot of book writing what I call sluggish. It's
Right.
not genuine. It's not coming from the heart. I believe when you write a book, it should come from the heart. You've got to feel what the author's feeling. In particularly, like my books, like the Templeton Millers, and my children's books, Lily Everly, you feel what I am writing. I don't think you can do that with AI. I really don't.
Mhm.
John,
Yeah,
would you like to?
I tried Chat GPT to do some research and come up with some sound writing, and it was so superficial that it was not worth using at all. I could I could do a lot better research just by using a Google search and get 10 times the information that the chat GBT had to offer. And so I pretty much found it useless and haven't tried it again.
Right. That's one of the things that we actually also felt. It actually just, like it. I mean, books is something very organic, and I feel like, sorry, I need to check my mic settings. I was actually able to hear myself, but I think it's, yeah. But anyway, I was what we were getting to was that AI has actually made it really difficult, because a lot of people are just just sitting down, putting like three sentences and creating whole books, and that is what is actually flooding Amazon and Barnes and Noble and platforms like that. You know, so that's where Online Ebook Fair comes in, and we have very selective authors. We actually talk to our authors. Most of you guys, I think, are in touch with someone from our team, and that's what kind of makes it exclusive. And the books. on our platform are, like they're all written by human authors. So would you guys like to add something? I think we also have another author joining us. Can you hear us? Okay. So I think since the voice is also being a problem, it's also time to wrap up the show. But guys, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. And AK and John, I would just like you to, give us a note on where we'll be able to purchase your books, and which one would you recommend the most?
Okay. Right. Oh, sorry, it's echoing. Right. I would recommend My Templeton Dynasty and the Lily Emily series. The best book is this one. Is the Halloween book, and I do sell quite a lot of those in the US. And then that's Lily Emily for children. And then obviously start reading The Eternum, which is the beginning of the Templeton Dynasty. And you can get them from Amazon, and I'm in Barnes and Noble and most bookshops all over the world.
All right, and what about you, John?
Yeah, the best choice for my book is Amazon. Certainly, you can get the Kindle version for $4.99. It's a tremendous bargain. It's a short book, which is easy to read, and it breaks down the main points that are given in the Epistle of James, so that you can digest and think about them and how that will improve your life, basically, and the lives of others around you. And so, yeah, I'd recommend getting an electronic version on Amazon.
Right. Thank you so much once again, John and AK, for joining us. And I'm so glad that we had this session. If there's anything that you guys would like to add, please go ahead. Otherwise, we will wrap the show here.
No, I'm fine. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.